Hello, welcome. This is Anime Zone, and today I will be reviewing K-On! Let's begin with story. So, K-On! Is a show about nothing. At least that's the best way I think to describe it. You can actually give it a description and give an analysis of what the show is about, but saying that, it's about a girl named Yui who she just entered high school, right? It's her first year, and she is considering on what club she should join, and that's when she stumbles into the light music club. Now, Yui isn't the smartest person around, so they kind of trick her into it because they have food, and why not, right? Just slack off. But that's how the show goes on, from to see their friendships and all of them interacting on their everyday lives. This show is slice of life in its purest form. There is no character development. There's no antagonistic force. It's just four girls, later five, living out their lives, their high school lives, and just having a blast. And it's the most wholesome thing I've seen in a while. Okay, let's move on to characters. I love all these characters. I think they are what carry the show, obviously, right? Since there is no story. But the thing with them is that they don't develop through the show. Um, I don't think any of them are different by the end of the show, compared to how they were when they first started. But that's the charm of it because they don't develop individually, but they develop as a group. When you see the K-On! Group, the K-On! Band, the after school tea time band, when you see them in the final episode or in the movie, they don't feel like the same group that you first saw when they first initiated the club. And it's great because you know how these characters interact. You're so familiar with them that it just feels different. And the way that they did their friendships, because their friendships did develop very subtly, but it did develop to the point where it's everything so natural. You feel the love between these guys, and it's so great to watch. So let me talk about each character individually, even though I'll repeat the word cute a lot, so expect that. We begin with our main character, Yui. Now, Yui is so damn adorable just because she's so damn dumb. She's dumb, and that's her charm, because she's so dumb that all of her quirky mistakes is just like, oh my god. And even though she causes trouble for a lot of the other ones, they still love her, and I'm right there with them because out of all of them, though, out of all of them, I would say she's the one I felt had the least cute moments. Because most of the times I was just laughing at the fact of her very dumb decisions, uh, or just dumb things that she says, and it's just it's, I can say that it's just so charming. Um, but yeah, I don't really have much to say apart from that. Her voice actor in this sub is really good, especially the songs. She's one of the lead singers that always does the songs, and she does a very nice job. Now let's move on to Mio. Mio is scared of everything, and she's the other main singer, and she's just so damn adorable. I would say she's the most level-headed out of all of them, but she can be just as quirky as them in her own right, or whenever she's pushed to it. It's really fun. It's fun when she's around, and she has the most mature vibe. And I really like that. I especially like how Azusa really liked her because she had the more mature vibe out of all of them. And I liked how barely anybody ever listened to her, but she was always the voice of reason, even though she had her own quirky moments every once in a while, and it was just so damn adorable. But yeah, now let's go to Mio's best friend, which is Ritsu. And Ritsu, man, she's that tomboy. Such a great character. All of these characters are comedy relief, but she was one of the pioneers of that. She like charged in. Everything she did was just so quirky, so such a great character to watch. She was also I would say the least cute out of all of them in terms of designs, and but she had her cute moments, of course, but it wasn't in her character to be as adorable as the other girls were. Lastly, she was the most hyper one out of all of them too. Apart from that, I don't really have any other things to say about her. So let's move on to Mio. Sorry, I mean Mugi. Okay, Mugi. Mugi is a damn angel. She a rich kid who gets excited about everything, and I loved it. Every time she saw something that was normal, and she just copied, and it's the most adorablest thing ever. I would say Mugi had the cutest design out of all the characters, and just the cutest personalities. Like I thought she was cute more times than I did on the other ones, except for maybe Asusa. But yeah, great character. I loved whenever she was around, which was a lot of the times, and she's very quiet too. She doesn't really have much dialogue. Well, she did have a lot, right? But she doesn't talk as much as someone like Ritsu does, or Yui for that matter. But anyways, let's move on to the last part, the last one in the band, which is Asusa. Now she joined in afterwards in the second year. And at first I was a bit hesitant with her, but I grew to love her, and I would say that I think she's my favorite in the group, because she's like the straight man. She's always like, oh my god, these guys don't do anything, but at the same time, she's slowly getting used to them, or she's slowly falling down to the darkness that is to be a part of their group. And she's just such a nice addition, and especially her episodes ended up being some of my favorite episodes, like season 2 episode 14, I believe it was, where it focused on her and it had a lot of dream sequences. That was probably like my favorite episodes, not counting the finale and the movie. But she's such a great addition to it, and she balanced out really well with a lot of the characters, and I liked all her different quirks. And I would say she's up there with me with Mugi as the cutest in terms of designs and the way they animated her. But yeah, let's go to Sawa-chan. Sawa-chan is probably like my favorite character. um, she had a great design too, but she was just so entertaining to watch. Such a wild card, but trying to act like a nice teacher, and it was just so great. It was the best thing, especially the first time. I think the first time it's revealed that her past was in episode 5 of the first season, and the way they did it was so dramatic and so just great, so great. Uh, and I really, really, really enjoyed her character whenever she showed up. And I don't know what else to say, right? I would totally be down to see a show about her and her band. Like I would be down for that, but probably not gonna happen. But still, though, let's move on to Nordica. She's one of the side characters, I would say, because I wish she was a part of the main group. Even though I don't think she would have bounced off as well as she does, it's nice that she's only like a side, because when she does shows up, she's nice. She's very mature, responsible. She's a student council president, and she's best friends, or I would say she's the childhood friend of Yui. And it's just so great to see her whenever she shows up, because she's a treat, like she shows up, but she doesn't show up in every episode, and when she does, it's a nice addition. All the girls here are just so nice to have around, and I don't complain when any one of them shows up, including Yui's sister, which is her younger sister but acts like the mature older sister, and oh my god, she's the most adorablest thing ever. I mean, I've said this so many times in this review at this point, but she really is how she takes care of Yui, and she's the most cutest thing ever, I swear. But whatever. She was also a great character, and I loved when she was around, and she showed up quite a bit actually. Okay, let's move on to animation. I'm done with characters. This was done by Kyoto Animation, and it's great. Kyoto Animations are like the king of moe, and they're also the kings of when it comes to slice of life, I would say, because they can do it so well. So many of their shows are so great and so well written, I would say. Um, they're responsible for like some of my favorite shows, like Hyoka and Violet Evergarden. So it's no surprise that they took it out of the park in this. And this is pretty old. This is like 2007, and I can't believe how well the quality looks. And especially in the second season, I feel like the production went up a notch with the music, with the animation, with everything. and the movie, just great. Just took everything of quality of the show and just took it one more step. Because that's the thing with Kyoto Animation, that when you compare their movies to their shows, like, yeah, there's a difference and it's better, but not by much. And that just shows how much of a quality they can do in their regular shows, which is surprising because the second season was like around 24, 27 episodes counting the OVAs. And that's incredible how they could keep that level of quality consistent. Okay, but lastly, and my some other things that I want to mention is the music. The music production in this is great, and yeah, it's a show about, band, a K-on band, right? But um, surprisingly enough, they don't play a lot of music, but when they do, and when they actually make like a song and they actually manage to like practice and sing it, it's great. Fua Fua Time is probably Fua Fua Time. That's probably like my favorite. Surprisingly enough, though, not the regular 4-4 time, the one that Asusa plays when I think it was the second OVA when they're about to graduate, and she plays it, which is like the new version. It's great. I'll leave a link to that song in the bottom because it's such a great song. Definitely should be heard. And my second favorite song was probably the song that they made for Asusa when they graduated, and that one, just so beautiful. I listened to it so many times, but it's so wholesome, and the ending really gets a feel. I want to talk about the ending because this show ended like 3 times, but two of those times was from like the the movie, and the 20 and episode 24 had like the same ending, but there were still two different endings, if you know what I mean. And it was great. Every ending got me emotional. Even like some of the OVAs got me emotional, and by the end I realized how attached I were to these characters, because when I finished this show I wanted more. I wasn't ready to give up my girls yet, but no, it was a fun journey, and I had a blast watching them just do their everyday things. But all good things must come to an end. So be it. But if you haven't watched this, I think it's a great show, and especially if you're a fan of slice of life. Season one might be a little slow at times because you have to get used to the characters and all of that. But once you reach to season two, you're already used to their quirks and everything, and it really just steps up a notch, and just it's just fun. Nothing but pure fun. This show was great. I would give it like a B if I'm rating it. But I love it to death. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, with all that said, thank you for listening. Please subscribe, leave a comment, anything like that. But yeah, have a nice day.